The project on empowering community media to fight the climate crisis in the Rwenzori region in Uganda is born from the realization that the severity of the climate change crisis is growing globally. The problem in Africa has been embraced by various stakeholders, including the civil society, media, and communities. The above stakeholders use the information deficit model, which assumes that the public does not have enough information and puts media at the center of communication activities. While this approach has increased public awareness, it has not convinced the public to rank climate change higher than other threats like terrorism, economy, and others for behavior change. This is because the information deficit model isolates stakeholders to act independently and uses a highly patriarchal system of communication and aims at short-term benefits. In light of the above, the Rwenzori Media Development Foundation, RMDF, in partnership with Makerere University Department of Journalism and Communication, funded by UNESCO through the International Program for the Development of Communication, IPDC, has started implementation of a training program to build the knowledge based on environmental issues and reporting practices, targeting 30 journalists that include editors, reporters, show hosts, and program managers from 15 radio stations in the Rwenzori region. The first phase of the training was conducted during 3 days to cover 3 planned project activities. On the first day of the training, held on 2nd December 2024, the focus was on instruction on environmental degradation in Uganda and the role of media in promoting sustainability. The lead facilitator, Dr. William Tayewa, a senior lecturer of journalism and communication from Makerere University, took the participants on a journey of highlighting the major environmental challenges from a global to a regional and to local levels. He started off by explaining the importance of environmental conservation since the world was interlinked. He explained the interlinkages through systems theory and the ecosystem theory.
Oxygen kitu MTA jeri jiteriode oxygen munji obutagaha manyiba had shemiripi. Our lungs are very happy now. They are breathing very pure oxygen. Ajiri tukure mu myaka chagana ushija wenga na shako ko myaka shako. Atawari mu ka oxygen garunja na isya nambwe cy'umurebere cy'ubunimo bizaboda bodati. Okana bakubikorwa kuriya. They find the trees here and the trees take that carbon monoxide and carbon. They transform it into oxygen for us. Reason why we should have so many trees. When you are but this is just to show you the complex of the science that Hajara talked about. The need for us as journalists, as environmental journalists, to educate ourselves. Or range was on climate change and when COP29. COP29 is a COP. Very serious science.
After laying the conceptual grounding, participants were divided into 5 groups to research and present on critical environmental issues, including deforestation, poaching, land degradation, overpopulation, and pollution. Each group addressed the global, regional, and local status of their assigned issue, analyzed conservative factors, and proposed mitigation measures. The group work and presentations were based on the following guiding questions. Question number 1, what is the global, regional, local status of the environmental issue you are handling? Question number 2, what according to you are the conservative factors? Number 3, what mitigation measures do you propose? Group 1, deforestation. The group highlighted Uganda's alarming deforestation rates, citing reports showing a net forest loss of 1.8 million hectares between 2000 and 2015, with forest cover dropping from 19.4% to 12% during this period. Key drivers included agricultural expansion, wood extraction for energy, urbanization, free grazing, and wildfires. Despite these challenges, the group noted that the Rwenzori region still remains with significant forested ecosystems such as Semuliki, Kibale, and Rwenzori Mountains National Parks. The group emphasized the media's critical role in advocating for forest conservation. Group 2.
So, some of the points we highlighted: agriculture. Since Uganda, we know agriculture is our backbone. Then infrastructure development, that is construction of industries. Then we looked at urbanization as some of the causes of deforestation locally, globally, and at the national level. So according to the statistics, we said that let's first look at the local level, the level where deforestation has gone locally. So in Uganda, according to the statistics from NEMA and the Wildlife and the Worldwide Fund, we discovered that Uganda is losing almost 120,000 hectares of forest per year. That is according to 120,000 hectares of forest per year. Then that is according to NEMA. Then in percentage, it is almost like 2.2% of the forest cover that is lost per year. Then we looked at what causes this in Uganda. What causes this? We looked at one is charcoal production as one of the causes. Then we went ahead. Charcoal production, whereby people, we know the most energy resource we use in our families is stoves, the charcoal stoves. Yeah. So charcoal production was number one, the reason why deforestation is occurring in Uganda. Then urbanization, we can call it construction of industries and other things. Then we looked at the district locally. We are still at the local level. The district which is most affected in Uganda with deforestation, number one was Kalangala. Kalangala lose tree cover or the forest cover at a percentage of 41.8%. That is, per year. That is, then Kabale, that is 20.7%.
A transit hub for illegal wildlife and a target for the poachers. Despite international and local efforts to curb poaching, the issue remains persistent. The group stressed the importance of media in raising awareness, particularly by educating communities near protected areas and their role in safeguarding wildlife.
For example, someone talked about that there is some certain rivers where we're not supposed to pick fish. But how can our person along Nyamwamba understand that I'm not supposed to pick this fish from this river? How do they know? So I think we need to really make a step, and as we go back, we implement these things that we have learned here.
Group 3, land degradation. Overpopulation emerged as a key factor in land degradation in the Rwenzori region, where a growing population, coupled with refugee influxes from the Democratic Republic of Congo, has intensified pressure on natural resources. Issues such as land fragmentation, soil nutrient depletion, and fertile landslides were also noted. The group recommended climate-smart agriculture and alternative livelihoods, with the media playing a central role in promoting sustainable land use practices. Group 4: Overpopulation. The group linked overpopulation in the Rwenzori region to environmental stress, citing challenges such as land degradation, woodland loss, and competition for water and energy resources. They proposed media campaigns to promote family planning and challenge cultural and religious norms that contribute to the high birth rates. Group 5: Pollution. The group reported on heavy metal pollution in the region. Rivers such as Mobuku, Ruimi, and Nyamwamba, primarily caused by copper and cobalt mining. Air pollution brought by climate change and glacier loss on the Rwenzori Mountains was also highlighted. They emphasized the need for media-driven environmental awareness campaigns to reduce human impacts and promote mitigation efforts. The group presentations were both insightful and action-oriented, emphasizing solutions tailored to journalists and the media institutions. They underscored the media's paramount role in advocating for sustainable practices and influencing public attitudes toward environmental conservation. The second day of the training on 3rd December 2024 started off with a recap of the learning activities over the previous day. Thereafter, the lead facilitator, Dr. William Tayewa, focused on the specific part of environmental journalism. The focus of the day was to reflect more on the environmental issues in the region that have an impact on human lives and how the media can shine a spotlight on them. The facilitator started by reminding the participants that the concept of environmental journalism was grounded on the philosophy of sustainable development. The concept was first coined in a 1987 report titled Our Common Future by the World Commission on Environment and Development, in which ecosystem development acquired a new name as sustainable development.
We have these people who have encroached the wetlands. And in most cases, when we talk about enforcement, sometimes you get embarrassed and even confused. When you go to them to enforce what is going to enforce, you find that they are the very people, some of these big men are the ones encroaching the wetlands.
Uganda's natural forests are disappearing at alarming rates. Our natural forests are disappearing at alarming rates. In the Rwenzori sub-region alone, about 23% of green cover is lost every month. About 23% is lost every month. And this is a very shocking statistic that demands our immediate attention as journalists.
And the bottom line is there's still need for advocacy and sensitization to the masses, to the local communities, for people to preserve the environment. Otherwise, if we don't, when you look at the statistics and what my colleagues shared in their different groups, the future is really the future is full of tears. So we have to make the change now, and change starts with you or me. Thank you.
And I'm so much privileged to have attended this workshop today. For the last 3 days, it's about how we can conserve the environment and the effects that people are facing due to a lot of environmental degradation. Indeed, I've learned a lot of it, and I'm looking forward to helping my community, my listeners on the radio, on how best we can conserve the environment for a better generation. And together, remember, like it was before, you cut one tree, plant two, and through that mechanism, we shall have saved a lot of millions of our people that are coming to grow up, a lot of generations in the near future. Thank you.
In a 3 days training of equipping journalists with skills, knowledge, idea on environmental reporting, I have got to learn about the advantages of collaboration, and this, which was presented by Frederick Mujira. I have learned how we can collaborate as journalists to amplify the voices on climate to the community, how we can inform the community about the climatic changes, and how we can protect our community on environmental degradation, how we can create awareness, sensitization, educating, and from local to regional, from regional to national, from national to international, such that the story goes up.
This event has been a brainstorm to us, the journalists, especially who are practicing good journalism, I would put it. It has equipped us with skills of how to report, how to rate, and how to investigate issues concerning the environment. It has been that thing that has brought us together. We have media practitioners from different media houses across the region, and we're really grateful for the skills we have attained. We've learned how best we can collaborate to bring out stories that have affected the environment. To us as journalists, it's our role to ensure that the climate or environment is kept clean and safe for us, for everyone to enjoy it. It's upon us because we hold the biggest platform. We hold the biggest platforms. For example, we are in the houses writing these stories. We are the people that the listeners, the someone out there listens to. So I hope with this, it's going to help us come out with something that's going to be very important in reporting, in writing, and agitating for the good environment of our nation.
This 3 days workshop, environmental workshop, and I have learned a lot because I've realized that us as journalists, we've been neglecting some of the stories concerning the environment, and this has impacted the community and the environment too. Now, like we have learned how some rivers and forests and other environment other things in environment have been destroyed by the human, and as journalists, it is now our time to act. Though we have been writing those stories, and we have not been putting much emphasis on those stories. And as a journalist, when I leave this area, I'm going to start working on stories that I think I have not been following or giving much attention. For example, here in Port Poto, we have the River Mpanga and some of the streams that are serving River Mpanga. Those rivers have been destroyed much, and as journalists, we have not been giving it much of attention. Now I'm going to write stories, follow it up, and even bring on board my other journalists to work together so that we help this nation to improve on the environment. Thank you.
Kasese district has been battling with many disastrous events, and me personally, starting seeing these challenges started in 2013. But of course, remember, I was almost really few months into the media industry. Slowly after that mega disaster, of course, we also witnessed the 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, then in 20. So throughout all these particular challenges, I was lacking skills as a journalist to tell a story that will really impact the lives of my community, also to have informed decisions. So having trainings like what Rwenzori Media Development Foundation is really organizing, it's something that is really timely, because I have learned a lot through the training. The session where Dr. William Tayewa took us through the story mapping, something that has really stuck in my mind. And I'm very sure after this training, I am going to see how I start following up these particular issues. But also as a commitment, I have actually committed myself to start a news hour that will be specifically for addressing issues pertaining climate change, how climate change is affecting agriculture, how climate change is affecting the health status of our people, how climate change is really impacting on road network, how climate change is really impacting on education, and majorly how it actually impacts on the lives of our people. So I'm very sure that after this particular training, I'm going to see how I really start that radio show so that I can really educate the public of what they should be expecting, especially when a disaster happens. How can we rectify and also play a big role in contributing to the sustainable way of maybe reducing these occurrences in my area.
And from this, I have learned that it is a collective responsibility to have our environment protected. And according to Martin, the executive director of Rwenzori Media Development Foundation, as I would say, that we need to increase much of the content on our air as far as the environment is concerned. How often do I talk about the environment on air? How often do you, the one who is recording, talk about environment on air? So the content we always give on air, we need to also increase. We need to also involve environmental issues on air. We need to talk about it. We need to talk about it day and night. So I have learned a lot as far as increasing content about environmental reporting on air is concerned. And from today, actually starting with tomorrow, I'll be reporting about environmental issues. At least we increase the content being aired out, maybe on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, because the environmental issues needs collective responsibility to have them sorted out.
Basically, yes, I've been doing stories about the environment, but according to the training, at least I've seen that I was lacking some tips. I was lacking some angling of stories and how to attract not only the viewers but also the people who are responsible. For example, the authorities like the government and the other organizations.